Hey, welcome back to RV Chef Life. My name's Jonathan. Tonight we're going to be trying something just a little bit different. Probably not something you normally would do in your motorhome or RV. Chicken chow mein. There's not many vegetables involved. Carrots, celery, cabbage, and onions. A simple sauce, quick and easy to make. The whole meal's ready in 30 minutes or less. So if you're ready to elevate and try something different, sit back, hold tight, and let's get started. All right, let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that we're gonna do is grab our chicken. You're gonna need 1.5 pounds of chicken breast. You're gonna cut everything tonight on a bias. That includes the chicken and the vegetables. You want them all fairly larger chunks, so that way it doesn't disappear in the noodles. You'll notice here on my cutting board, I have 4 chicken breasts. These 3 weighed out to a little bit more than 1.5 pounds. So grab your chicken breast, and like I'd mentioned, we're gonna cut everything on a bias, so that way we get more surface area. You're going to cut all your chicken in about 1/4 inch thickness. Just let it fall. All right, what we're going to do now is grab a large bowl. We're going to put the chicken in the bowl. All right, now that we have the chicken in the bowl, what we're gonna do is tenderize the meat with baking soda and also add soy sauce. We're gonna let that marinate in the refrigerator for 20 minutes. The amount of soy sauce, we're gonna use 2 tablespoons. I know that sounds like a lot, but what we're gonna do is let it marinate, and then we're gonna rinse everything off, so that way that metallic metal taste is gone with the soda. Go ahead and stir that all around. You're gonna see some bubbling take place. One of the best stirrers is your hands. Once you get it good and stirred up, you're gonna put everything in the refrigerator. You're gonna let it work its magic, give it some time while we get everything else ready. All right, now let's get the vegetables ready. You're gonna grab 3 stalks of celery. These you'll cut on the bias as well. Put all that to the side in a bowl. We're gonna go ahead and prepare a small onion. First, we're gonna cut it in half, and the same size, about 1/4 inch thickness. Go ahead and separate them now, just make it easier for later. Ooh, that onion's strong. You can go ahead and put these in the same bowl as the celery. They're the same consistency and thickness, so they'll cook at the same time. All right, now we're gonna prep our cabbage. The easiest way to do this is just cut it in half. You're gonna use about 3 cups of cabbage. Go ahead and put those in a bowl by themselves and go ahead and separate them just like you did the onion. It's easier later on, I promise. All right, the next thing we're gonna prepare is the scallions. You're gonna grab 6 or 7 of them. You're gonna split these up into 2 separate parts. You're gonna keep whites and the greens. And I'll show you how to do this here. Go ahead and take your root end off. Throw those to the side. Now, if you notice, you'll have the white end here and the green end here. Go ahead and cut those. Keep your greens to the side. Got some onions running away. On your green ends, you want to leave them about 3/4 inch to 1 inch in size. These will go on the very end. You won't cook these very much, so we'll keep these separate from everything else. There's a lot of prep work before you start this dish, but there's a reason why. Once you get the pan fired up, everything starts going really fast. So having everything done and ready and to the side makes this a whole lot easier and a whole lot quicker. All right, now we're gonna prepare 2 different sauces. The first sauce is gonna be for the chicken marinade after we pull it out of the refrigerator. In the sauce, in the marinade, you're gonna have half a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of pepper, half a teaspoon of sugar, tablespoon of garlic, 1 tablespoon of cornstarch, and you're also going to add 2 tablespoons of soy sauce and 2 tablespoons of rice wine vinegar. Go ahead and set that sauce to the side. Okay, the first sauce was for the chicken. The second sauce is going to be for the entire dish for the noodles once we get everything mingled together. For the second sauce, which is going to be used on the entire dish, you're going to have a 1/4 cup of chicken broth, 4 tablespoons of soy sauce, 3 tablespoons of oyster sauce. We're going to use a tablespoon of spicy chili crisp. This stuff is really good. Mix it well first before you put it in there. Pinch of pepper, pinch of sugar, 3 tablespoons of garlic. And a final thing in this is 1 tablespoon of sesame oil. And you'll set that to the side as well. Now that we have everything ready, we're just gonna wait for the chicken. I'm gonna go ahead and clean up the mess in the tiny kitchen. Y'all can watch me do that in fast-paced, fast mode. And then when that's all ready, we'll slide everything to the side, get your pan out, and we'll start cooking. All right, I've got to admit something on this recipe. I cheat a little bit. A lot of people will use spaghetti noodles or chow mein noodles. What I do is buy these from the grocery store. They keep in the motorhome without refrigeration. There's 2 packages to 1 of these. I use 2 of these, which would be 4 total packages. It's a lot easier, a lot quicker. Put it in the microwave for about 30 seconds, loosens them up, and then I set them to the side and let them cool off a little bit, dry out a little bit, because when we start frying the noodles, you want the noodles to be dry and hitting that oil hot so they crisp up a little bit. All right, we're gonna grab the chicken out of the refrigerator. I've already done that here. What we're gonna do is take it to the sink and rinse it off to get all the baking soda off of there. We'll let it drip dry for a little bit, and then we'll put it right back in the same bowl and add the chicken marinade or the marinade that we made previously. We wanna get all that baking soda off there. And make sure to be doing this under cold water. All right, after you've rinsed that off, what we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and throw our chicken seasoning, or chicken sauce that we had made earlier in there. All right, as I mentioned earlier, I do this in 2 batches. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab the chicken and get it out of my way. Gonna go ahead and turn on the stove top. On induction or gas, you always wanna start it on low. Get your pan tempered to temperature. And then, once you can feel a little warmth taking place, then go ahead and turn it on high. Go ahead and crank it up. We're gonna add 2 tablespoons of oil. We basically just wanna coat the dish, or coat the pan, I'm sorry. You'll hear my stovetop scream. It's an induction, so as soon as I remove cooking utensils from it, it starts beeping telling me, hey, put it back on. I don't carry a wok in the motorhome. I used to, but I didn't use it enough. Using these Ninja pans that I use for all my cooking gets the job done. Once you start seeing the pan and the oil wisp some smoke, you're gonna go ahead and half your chicken up, do it in separate batches so that way you don't overcrowd the pan. A lot of people will over stir their chicken once they're starting to cook it. Let it sit there. Let it mingle up in that oil, let it get some brown bits going on. Give it a second. It won't take this chicken very long to cook because we cut it up into 1/4 inch sections. While we're cooking the chicken, I'm gonna go ahead and do my cheat part. I've grabbed, excuse me, all 4 and separated them, pierced them. I'm gonna put them in the microwave for 90 seconds. You can let them sit there until you're ready for them. All right, the chicken's almost done. We're gonna stir it one more time. We're gonna throw it into the bowl next to it. Probably don't throw it, but scoot it in there. Now, most of the time on these RV stoves, they just don't get hot enough for a wok or a stainless steel pan. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna deglaze this pan. We're gonna go ahead and, my stove top shut off. What we're gonna go ahead and do is turn it on high, grab a cup of water, let it heat up pretty high, and we're gonna deglaze it to try to clean it up because we're gonna use the same pan. And here we go. You're gonna see a lot of steam from the second camera. Whatever you do, do not do this on a non-stick pan. You will ruin your pan. Just keep it going until it reduces pretty well. You'll dump that on your chicken. Once that's dumped on your chicken, go ahead and wipe your pan clean, or as clean as you can. It doesn't have to be perfect. Go ahead and turn your pan back on high. This is when things start moving pretty quick. You're gonna add 2 tablespoons of oil to your pan. Let that heat up. The first thing you're gonna add to it is your onions and celery. Cook those down about a minute. You don't wanna get them too soft. You really want them just kind of heated up and crunchy. I'm gonna go ahead and swap out the spot for the chicken. You want another bowl ready to the side, so that way when you start cooking the vegetables and they cook rather quickly, you can get them over there and off the heat ASAP. Bowl is ready. We're gonna throw in the onions and the celery. Constantly stir these while you're cooking them. Put your pan back on the stovetop, still on high. Add another 2 tablespoons of oil. Once that oil gets up to temperature, swirl it around. You're gonna add your carrots. The carrots is about a cup of diced or chopped julienne carrots. Same thing as the onions and celery, you want to keep them stirring. Once the carrots soften up just a little bit, go ahead and take them off and throw them in with your celery and onions. Okay, get your pan back down and get it back on high. 2 more tablespoons of oil. Your pan shouldn't have cooled off too much, so it'll be ready to add that cabbage. With the cabbage, add your white part of your scallions. Same thing as all the other vegetables, go ahead and keep it stirring. I know it's a little harder with the cabbage because it's so large, but it'll cook down. Go ahead and mix around your onions, celery, and carrots. Get them even, especially if you're gonna do it in 2 batches like I do. I'm gonna push them all to the one side of the other bowl, pan. And the cabbage, go ahead and turn your stove top off, and the cabbage is ready to go in that pan with the other veggies. The noodles I use come in these packages. I go ahead and just open them after heating them up, throw them on a plate. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna cook these in 2 batches, as I said earlier. I'm gonna go ahead and turn my pan back on high. We're gonna basically fry these noodles. You're gonna add 3 to 4 tablespoons of oil. Go ahead and take 2 of your noodles, kind of separate them while you're throwing them in there. Go ahead and add half your chicken back in, half your cabbage, half your onions and celery and carrots, half of that sauce that we blended up earlier. Stir it all up. Let these mingle for just a minute or so. I said it was a good dish. I didn't say it was a not messy dish. What I do now is to play the musical pot and pan game. Since we don't have many in these RV kitchens, I will take the remainder chicken and put it in with the cabbage, carrots, celery, and onions. And then when this is done, which it's almost there, we'll take that and put it in the pot that we just took the chicken out of. It is ready. Turning the pan off. Go ahead and put this in the other bowl or pan or pot, whichever you have. Be careful, this is gonna be heavy. All right, now we're all done. I'm gonna finish the other batch once we finish with this taste test. The colors are vibrant. God, the smell. I wish you could smell it. It smells amazing. I'm gonna go in for a bite. This is gonna be really hot, so you're gonna have to give me a minute. Oh my gosh. So good. Everything cooked perfectly. You still get crunchy onions and carrots and celery. That chicken has marinated to the point that it just falls apart. So good. I just want to say thanks for stopping by, spending your afternoon or evening with me, learning how to make this dish that most people don't cook at home. This is almost as good as takeout, if not better. And the fact is, it's about a quarter of the price. And it's a dish that you normally won't make in your RV or out camping with friends. So shock them with something new. Thanks for stopping by. Please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you soon.